There comes a moment in life when you have to decide whether your circumstances control you or you control what happens next. Maybe right now, you're standing in the middle of a life that looks completely different from the one you imagined. You may feel behind, exhausted, confused, or simply tired of trying to make everything work. But before you decide that your story is over, remember that difficult seasons are not permanent. Sometimes life becomes uncomfortable because it is preparing you for a version of yourself you haven't met yet. The person you want to become is waiting on the other side of decisions you are afraid to make. You don't need to change your entire life today, because one powerful decision can change the direction of everything. Start with something small, something manageable, and something you can actually do right now. Maybe it's getting out of bed when you would rather stay there and disappear from the world. Maybe it's opening the book, starting the workout, making the phone call, or finally beginning the dream. Nobody needs to applaud your first step, because the first step is supposed to be quiet. Most transformations begin in moments that look completely ordinary from the outside. The world rarely notices when someone decides to change, but eventually it notices the results. You might not see progress today, but that doesn't mean your effort is being wasted. Every hour you spend learning is building something inside you that cannot be taken away. Every difficult workout is teaching your mind that discomfort does not automatically mean you should stop. Every failure is giving you information that success could never teach you by itself. Every rejection is reminding you that one person's decision does not determine your worth. You have to stop measuring your future by what is happening in your life today. A seed buried beneath the ground may look forgotten, but something powerful can still be happening underneath. Your life can be changing even during the seasons when you cannot see the evidence. There will be mornings when motivation disappears, and those mornings will reveal what you truly believe. Motivation can get you started, but discipline is what carries you through the days when motivation disappears. You don't have to feel confident before you take action, because confidence often arrives after you begin. The first attempt may be terrible, the second may be uncomfortable, and the third may still feel uncertain. But eventually, repetition turns something difficult into something you know how to handle. That's how strength is built, not through one heroic moment, but through thousands of ordinary choices. Think about every person you admire, because behind their success is a story you probably never witnessed. You see their achievements today, but you don't see the nights they spent questioning themselves. You see their confidence today, but you don't see how many times they were rejected before they believed in themselves. You see the finish line, but you rarely see the lonely miles that came before it. So don't compare your beginning to someone else's chapter 20 because you're judging two completely different moments. Your only real competition is the version of yourself that keeps convincing you to stay exactly where you are. Every morning gives you another opportunity to become slightly better than you were yesterday. You don't need perfection, because progress has always been more valuable than perfection. If you make one mistake today, learn from it instead of turning that mistake into your identity. If you fall down, don't waste your energy pretending that falling never happened. Look at where you fell, understand why you fell, and then figure out how to stand differently. The strongest people aren't people who never fall, because everyone falls eventually. The strongest people are the ones who refuse to let falling become their permanent address. There may be people who doubt you, laugh at your goals, or tell you that you're being unrealistic. Let them talk, because you don't need permission from everyone to build the life you want. You don't need everybody to understand your vision when you're the one who has to live with the result. Sometimes you have to walk alone for a while before you discover what you're actually capable of. Being alone during a difficult season doesn't mean you're being punished, because solitude can teach you incredible things. It can teach you how to trust yourself when nobody else is there to reassure you. It can teach you how to keep moving without needing constant attention, praise, or approval. And once you learn that, you become much harder to stop. Remember the moments when you thought you wouldn't make it through, because somehow you are still here. You have already survived days that once looked impossible from where you were standing. That means you have evidence that you are stronger than the person you sometimes believe yourself to be. Don't let one bad chapter convince you that the entire book is going to end badly. Your worst day is not qualified to predict your best day, because the future has not happened yet. There are opportunities you haven't discovered, people you haven't met, and experiences you haven't lived yet. There are mornings ahead that may completely change the way you understand your past. So keep moving toward them, even when the road feels longer than you expected. When you are tired, slow down if you need to, but don't completely abandon the direction you're heading. Rest is not weakness, and taking a breath does not mean you've surrendered. Sometimes the smartest thing you can do is pause, recover, and return stronger than before. Your journey doesn't have to look impressive every single day to be meaningful. Some days will be victories, while other days will simply be about surviving and starting again tomorrow. Both kinds of days matter because both are part of the person you're becoming. One day, you'll look back and realize that the small choices you almost ignored created the biggest changes. You'll remember the mornings when you didn't want to move, but somehow you got up anyway. You'll remember the failures that embarrassed you, because they eventually became lessons you were grateful to learn. You'll remember the rejection that broke your confidence, because it forced you to build confidence from within. You'll remember the lonely nights when you wondered whether everything would work out. And you'll realize that those nights didn't destroy you, because they taught you how to keep going without certainty. So don't give up simply because you cannot see the destination yet. A person walking through fog doesn't need to see the entire road, because they only need enough visibility for the next step. Take that step today, and tomorrow you can take another one. Eventually, those small steps will carry you farther than you ever imagined possible. You will become stronger without noticing, wiser without realizing, and more confident without forcing it. Then one day, you'll look back at the person you used to be and barely recognize how much you've changed. You will understand that the struggle was not proof that you were failing, but evidence that you were growing. And you'll be grateful that you kept walking when turning around would have been much easier. So if you're listening to this during one of the hardest moments of your life, don't quit today. Take a breath, clear your mind, and remind yourself that you still have another chance to begin again. Your story is still being written, and the next chapter could become the chapter you never thought was possible. So keep going, keep believing, keep becoming. And remember that sometimes your breakthrough is simply waiting for one more step.